Hello all, welcome back to Uncommon Geeks. Myself Asant. I hope you all doing well. In case if you see me first time on the internet, I'm a content creator. I help people to clear their interview. I made a lot of beautiful series in the past, which has been appreciated by many. And I thank you a lot. Finally, I have got now 1.1k subscriber. And as a fact of 1.1k subscriber, 1100 subscribers, I'm giving a free giveaway of taking a lot of mock interviews with respect to the front end. And I've posted this in my YouTube channel and I also posted it on my LinkedIn. And I've got good number of registrations for the mock interview. Obviously, I cannot take interview for all. I have picked few candidates where whom I can take a free mock interview. And today I'm interviewing somebody called Anubhav. So I'm thinking he's in a junior to mid-level engineer who is aspiring for some premium companies. Okay. Let's see how the interview goes with Anubhav. Yeah. So hi Anubhav. As you know, I'm Vasant. I own a YouTube channel called Uncommon Geeks. Thanks for registering for the mock interview that I requested. So as most of you know, this is as a part of my 1k subscriber. I'm taking free few mock interviews. Thanks for registering for same. Can I know something about you, Anubhav? Whatever you wish to share, like what are your skill sets, what sort of interview, which companies that you are aspiring at the moment? Yeah,
Sure. So I have like total 4 years of experience as a full stack developer, and the tech stacks that I work on mostly include JavaScript, React, HTML, CSS on front end, and on the back end I work usually with Node.js. And the companies that I'm targeting, basically, I'm looking forward to join some big product-based companies.
good.
What I'm interested in.
Yeah. Good. So that you're aspiring for big companies, it is good you take some serious mock interviews like that so that you get the end-to-end preparation practice. Okay. Sure, Anubhav. Let's get started with extreme fundamentals. Okay. So this is something that I generally ask in the beginning of the interview. So JavaScript is a single-threaded interpreted programming language. Am I right or wrong, Anubhav?
Yeah, that is correct.
Correct. So can you tell me what is interpretation in general?
So interpretation is like one by one, each line of code will get like executed, and then you will receive the output.
Exactly. Absolutely right. So can you tell me any interpreted language example other than JavaScript?
I think C was interpreted, not
No,
sure.
C is compiled. C, Java, C Sharp, all are compiled.
Mm,
No
Yeah,
problem.
not able to recall.
No problem. Okay. So now, if JavaScript is interpreted, line by line execution happens. Okay. In
Mhm.
general, do you know how JavaScript code is executed? The execution context and those things. Can you please elaborate a
Yeah.
little bit, please?
So we have this main stack wherein all the statements that we have written in JavaScript are brought in, and then we get the output basically on the terminal or browser where we want to see the output.
Yeah.
And basically, event loop is the concept terminology behind all this, which helps in managing and basically allocating different tasks in different queues that we have. Like we have the micro task queue, as well as we have a queue for web APIs as well. So all of this is managed. Like if we have promises, and so it will be put in the micro task queue. If we have like a web API like set timeout, so it is placed in a different queue. And if we have console log statements, so they are directly executed with the on the stack, and rest are handled asynchronously, and then we get the output
Correct. Fine.
as when they are executed.
Correct. No, event loop concept is fine, Anubhav. I am much interested in the execution context, how execution context is created, how JavaScript. Let's say you created a file called 1.js. Okay, there are some functions
Mhm.
in it, and you're calling the function, some operations you are doing, etc. Correct. Whenever
Mhm.
you run this JavaScript on the browser, correct. So what all operations take place? Can you please try explaining that? First, what happens whenever
So,
the browser encounters? Yeah.
like from the first instance, so there are like two steps in which the JavaScript like handles the execution of the code. The first is like it
Correct.
will check, yeah, different functions and whatever variables are there. So it will try to create that context,
Yeah.
and from the second time it will basically go over the values and all those things, and then give us the output.
Exactly.
So
Correct.
that's from the high level.
True. What you said is absolutely right. This is a two-step execution that JavaScript takes. Okay. So my
Mhm.
now my question is, you say interpretation is line by line execution, correct? So if line by line execution is happening, then if the execution is happening in two steps, okay, so they're contradicting each other, correct? So that's not line
Right.
by line execution. Can you justify how line by line execution happen in this two-step execution process?
So I will say like it is kind of a just-in-time kind of compilation that basically runs behind Java, like with which JavaScript is basically able to give us the output. And yeah, I will have to read more about it, I think so.
Sure, no problem. So you think React is a just-in-time compilation?
Yeah, it's kind of a library of JavaScript.
Hmm,
So though it has a number of more concepts as well.
got it. So tell me the difference between just-in-time compilation and ahead-of-time compilation. Also, if you know,
Thus,
please tell me which popular framework uses ahead of time compilation.
I'm not very sure of
No,
ahead of time
no problem.
compilation.
No. Okay. No, the purpose I ask all these in the beginning is like these are extreme fundamentals, correct? You are
Yeah.
able to answer most of them, and wherever you think you are not so confident, please touch base on those. Okay. Now
Sure.
let me ask you a few basic questions of the another other continuation of JavaScript only. Can you tell me what are closures in JavaScript?
So closures are basically kind of functions in JavaScript which helps the inner function to have like more control over the context of the outer function as well. Like you can have certain variables which you can control with the help of inner function and like that.
It's not wrong, but not fully correct. Do you want to rephrase, Anubhav?
Like controlling the scope, I would say that is what
Hmm.
makes more sense.
I'll
Like
tell.
inner functions has more access to the scope of outer functions. So
Correct, correct. This is fine. This definition is fine. So basically, inner function have access to the lexical environment of the outer function. If there is no outer function, the global itself is the outer function. Correct. That is called closure. Can you tell me one practical example where you might use the closures? Obviously, interview there are many questions people ask, set timeout and all
hmm,
those things. Any practical example that you think that where closures can be used?
practical example. So like basic application is like for example you want to keep the value like in a check for all the function different calls that we have for
Hmm,
some sort of variable.
hmm.
But like in a practical term, like if it is used somewhere, I will have to check upon it once, like where
Sure.
exactly it is.
Sure, sure. I've created one video recently about function caching. Okay, how to cache a function with variable number of arguments. That is one the good and the efficient example of using closures. Whenever you have time checkout, obviously there are a lot of other examples too, where the practically we can use the closures. Okay,
Sure.
sure. So I'll ask you just a couple of questions on React, then we'll solve some snippets. Okay, tell me what is the reconciliation in React?
So reconciliation is kind of the mechanism with which like the React basically does the re-rendering. It uses certain algorithms. It compares the different because it creates a tree kind of structure,
Hmm,
like the DOM elements. We have the tree
correct,
structure,
correct,
and the different nodes. They try to compare basically what was previously being rendered and what is the new set of structure in the virtual DOM. So they kind of compare it, and then basically it renders only those certain nodes which needs to be re-rendered or which have certain kind of change.
exactly. Can you tell me which algorithm used for this tree comparison? As you might know, tree comparison very costly operation. Correct?
Mhm.
Can you tell me which
Right.
algorithm used for this comparison?
I think it is diffing something,
Correct.
diffing.
Correct. Correct. Diffing is the algorithm name. Absolutely right. Okay. I have one practical question, Anubhav. Okay. Think and
Mhm.
answer. Let's say you have a plain HTML and JavaScript code written. For example, let's say you have just input box and a button, nothing much. Same code is written in React as well. Okay. As React proposes the concept of reconciliation and it technically says it is faster than the plain JavaScript. So only people should basically use. You tell me whether React is faster than the vanilla JavaScript in all the scenarios or not.
So like I think there might be certain scenarios where React won't be like faster
Hmm.
because it does some kind of unnecessary rendering at times as well, depending upon the structure we have created our file. Like if we have a parent or child kind of thing, so we have to kind of enhance it step by step. And so JavaScript might have an edge at times,
Correct.
not necessarily. And we can prevent creating React components in such cases.
Got it. So yeah, answer is right, but yeah, what interviewer will generally expect is you should tell a exact scenario, correct? Where JavaScript is faster than the React. Okay, please check certain scenarios. What your answer is right, but it can be only right when you justify it. Okay, tell me what is higher order components in React.
So higher order components, they are kind of created in order to reduce the redundancy which might be there in certain kind of components that we have created.
Hmm.
And in order to prevent that effort, so we create a component which has certain set of executions being handled at the higher level, and we pass our component to it so that it basically doesn't alter the thing, but it adds certain kind of things to that particular component that we are passing.
Sure. Give me one practical example, Anubhav. Don't give me any built-in examples. A practical example where you created a higher order component.
So I had one scenario with ref forwarding, if
Hmm.
I remember quickly, and basically I was using forward ref, and therein I passed it to a higher order component. I wanted, I think, to highlight some of the input boxes, and for that I passed it because that is also kind of a higher order function, ref
Hmm.
forwarding, and it entails all of it.
I need more concrete Anubhav. Can you please elaborate like why you needed higher order component? Without higher order component, what problem you would have faced? I mean, what inefficiency you would have faced? Can you elaborate?
So, for instance, I can take an example wherein I was rendering some kind of data from an API. So there were two set of components,
Hmm.
and they were both again fetching data from the same API. Though the UI varied a little bit, but the basic call, the network call was same. So in order to handle that, so a higher order component was created, and then the data was fetched in that particular component so that it could be supplied to
Okay.
these components.
So higher order
One when
component you use for making a network call. Am I right?
yeah, like that. You can
Got
say.
it. But rather making the same set of activity in both, just the URL and other things might be changed. So you have tried creating a
Mhm.
higher order component which can handle these activities. Am I right, Anubhav?
Right.
Correct. So I'll ask you one simple question around this. So wow, I got the scenario where you used. Can't you just use an utility class to do this activity? Just a file, which will
Mhm.
export a function, which will obviously do post, get, etc. And you pass the URL and the parameters in, and it will return the result to you. Can't you use that approach
Right.
instead of using the
Yeah.
hierarchy? That is also possible, correct?
Possible. Correct. Correct.
Got it. The purpose I asked this question, Anubhav, is every efficient technique like higher order component comes with its own complexities. Higher order component, use memo, use callback, anything that give you efficiency comes with its own set of a trade-off in the performance. Correct. So it is good to use them only when required. Correct. So I generally ask some practical scenarios. Many people say like Redux Connect. Correct. Redux Connect is one of the most common usage of the higher order component, but it is not something that we want to use. That is inherently like you cannot avoid using it, so you are using. Correct. So I asked the practical examples just around that. Anyways, now let's spend around 15 minutes, Anubhav, on some snippet driven questions. Okay. I'll share
Sure.
a link with you. Please open this link and present your screen. Okay. You can also open JS Fiddle. Can you open JS Fiddle and present your screen?
Yeah. Let me do that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Can you please open now JS Fiddle? So Anubhav, I'm adding the question in the Zoom chat. Okay. So please open this question and add it in the JavaScript, the third window. Okay. But don't run the code. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the my expectation is, can you please predict the output of it? Guess the output. You have a minute to guess.
This is having it should be and
Uh, so there are three locks basically: type of A, type of B, and type of C. All the three are undefined.
it should be either undefined and can't be stored because it is not having I think it should be undefined because const is not stored, so they can't have access to how those though it is so the function is called.
Yeah,
So it is basically checking type of A. So it's neither as I think it should be undefined for all
got it. So your type of A, B, C are undefined, correct? That's what you are saying.
the yeah, that's what my
Sure. Top left, you see a run icon. Can you please click on that, Anubhav? Top left, run. And bottom right, you see something called console beta. Can you click on that? Yeah. And that white area you can expand. Can you expand the white area? White area above. Expand. Yes. So it is not all the three are undefined. One is undefined and rest two are number. Okay. Can you try deducing why remaining two are numbers, Anubhav?
I thought that it should be undefined as well because it's scope and here.
It's not a easy question. It's a medium to hard question only. Okay. I mean, even first time when I looked at it, I also answered all the three as undefined only. Okay. That's why I thought of putting it so that somebody else will not do that mistake. Okay.
Right.
So you would like to guess or we'll go to the next question?
You can, let me look at it for 5 seconds.
What, Anubhav? I did not hear.
I said like, yeah, we can move to the next one.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Yeah. I'll share another snippet with you. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Please copy the snippet and paste. Don't run the code. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can comment the above one. I think it's the duplication. Line number 15 to 9 you can remove,
Oh,
I think. No, yeah, 11 to that, yeah. This is the question, yes. Maybe can you try zooming in a bit so that unrecorded, yeah. Little, huh? This is good.
should like print both the statements
Mm,
order.
mm,
First, output should be world is beautiful, and then it should be hello world.
correct. Can you please run now? Top left.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is coming? First is it is printing world is beautiful, but hello world is not printing. It is getting the uncaught type error. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you just try deducing again why you're getting the type error?
Okay, I do see this. Uh,
Would you like to guess, Anubhav, what is happening?
I think it is something to do with war because it was let I have like ran myself also. It should have.
Can you be a little louder, Anubhav? I'm not clearly hearing.
Uh, yeah. So I said like I think something to do with the war.
Okay. You want to convert var into const or let and try?
Yeah, I think the let should work.
Please, please try. Yeah.
Okay. So with let will not work because the call is before the definition of the function.
Yeah.
So, provide this function. Say I'm going to go with the arrow.
Hmm.
So
Okay. We'll go to next question, Anubhav, or you want to still guess?
yeah, I think like
No problem. See, it's a simple hosting concept. Okay, I've tried explaining
Mhm.
very much in detail in my hosting videos. I'll share the links personally with you for audience whoever watching. I'll try to link that on the screen. You can watch the hosting videos. Okay, this is the last snippet that I'll share with you, Anubhav. Most common one. I like asking this question, so I ask in almost all the interviews. Please copy the snippet and paste. Don't run. Yeah. Can you guess the output? See, I hope you're enjoying the content, like how Anubhav is responding and how I'm asking the question. And please like and comment about the video. As you very well know, I have a noble cause of helping people to clear the interview. Just by liking and commenting, I can reach out to more audience because the YouTube will give more impressions. So please like this video and comment whatever you're thinking. Okay, that will really, really help my channel. Thank you so much. And after doing that, please continue watching further.
Uh, should print five times
Hmm. So prints five times with what interval, Anubhav? Will print five at a time, or there is some
at
delay?
a time.
1 second. So you mean you run the code, no delay. Immediately all the five are printed, or there is 1 second delay, then the five are printed, or after printing all there is some delay. How is it?
There should not be delay because by the time like these things the set time would get executed, the loop has like already ended.
Hmm.
So it should be like all at a once
So
without delay.
are you sure? Can you just to justify why there is no delay between printing or when the during the beginning of printing? Why there is no delay? Can you justify that just that thing?
So once-
So overall, how many set timeouts are created, Anubhav? You tell me.
so only like there will be total of five only.
Exactly. What you
Uh,
said is right. So
each
five timeouts are created. Correct?
right.
Each having delay of what? I mean, timeout of
Yeah,
what? Hmm.
yeah, it says like 1,000 milliseconds, so 1 second.
Correct. So there are five timeouts created with 1 second delay each. Correct?
Mhm.
So you're telling when you run the code, there is no delay in printing.
But they shouldn't be
Hmm.
because they will be put in a different.
Or else, let's come to the output part separately, Anubhav. Just tell me now, whenever this runs, right? Tell me what will happen. Like, as soon as this statement is encountered, how many seconds does for loop will take to execute? Then how set timeout will step by step. Can you just explain? Don't want to get into very depth like execution context and all the things. Just the basics. How the things will execute. Probably we can take a little bit of event loop and explain.
Okay, so this is a browser API, set
Correct.
down timeout is a browser API. So they will be put in a separate queue
Correct.
as and when the loop is iterating. So
Correct.
nothing will be executed until their execution is completed. And so once the execution is over in that particular, like this delay is over, like of 1,000 milliseconds,
Hmm.
then they will be brought back to the main stack,
Correct.
and then they will be executed.
Correct. Yes. So what you said is absolutely right, Anubhav. Okay. One add-on question I'll ask. This is also a common question. So set timer to will it guarantees the delay whatever is given? Let's leave this case. In general, let's say 3-second delay is given for set timeout. Will it for sure execute after 3 seconds?
Under in this loop, you meant
No, no.
in this loop.
In general, I'm asking. Not inside the for loop. In general, will it guarantee it will execute after that second, that many seconds?
No, I think it is not always a guarantee. It depends, like the scenario it is being called.
Why it is not guaranteed? Can you tell a little bit?
I think because of the asynchronous nature.
Exactly. Yes. Because only the main thread is executing things, correct? So finally, all these activities has to go to main thread when main thread is free. So though the set timeout after 3 second elapsed, it can come to the stack, but there could be other task in the stack, correct? So the main thread may not able to execute it the exact time when it was supposed to execute, correct? So that is a trade-off using the set timeout. Please run the code. Zoom out and please run the code, and we'll see what is the output. Yeah. So you expand that white area. Yeah. Expand the white area. Yeah. And clear the console. Yeah. Run once again. Expand and run. Now run. Yeah. I see a delay, Anubhav. You're not seeing a delay? A second delay. Correct?
Yeah, there is.
Correct? Yeah, that's the reason I asked this question. People generally get confused with the delays. 5 times 5 is absolutely
Mhm.
right. And you also mentioned there is no delay between each printing. That was also absolutely right. But there is 1 second delay in the beginning. Correct? You would like to
Correct.
guess why there is 1 second delay? I'll give one hint. Okay. Basically, 5 timeouts are created almost at the same time. Correct? For loop will take microseconds to execute this loop. Correct? This much I can tell. Further, you need to guess.
By the time I think the loop executes, so one of the set timer, I guess, gets that delay.
Yes, you're right. You're close. See, it's pretty much the what I wanted to say is for loop will execute much faster. Obviously, it is not going to take 1 second. Correct. So, but
Mhm.
5 timeouts are created in less than let's say a few microseconds or milliseconds. Let's say 5 millisecond is taken to execute this. It run the loop. So by the time already the 5 set timeouts are created. Correct. 5 set timeouts are already created. So now at least 1 second has to elapse before running the first timeout. Correct. So that there is a delay. If for loop would have taken 1 second to execute this code, then what your answers gave was right. Like it will immediately execute because 1 second already elapsed. Since for loop is faster than whatever the set timeout interval that we have given, due to that nature, we get the initial 1 second delay. Okay. So yeah, that's all about the snippet driven question that I want to ask Anubhav. Okay. So we are at the almost half an hour. We are finished. I did not know how the time flew. Okay. You can stop sharing. Yeah. Yeah, so Anbo, let us spend last 5 to 10 minutes, whatever we left now, on the feedback and any questions you have. First, let us start with any questions that you have. Then I'll try to give my feedback. Tell me if you have any questions. Ask me. Yeah.
So, like I had not for these concepts, like how do we prepare for machine coding round kind of like are these rounds very frequent or it depends on the years of experience we have
Yeah.
or yeah.
So machine coding is very common in the premium companies. Probably whatever you're aspiring, like let's say Microsoft you are aspiring, or Amazon you are aspiring, Swiggy you are aspiring. So machine coding
Mm-hmm.
is mandatory in all the premium companies, whatever the big product companies we call, right? So machine coding is mandatory. So you have to prepare for machine coding interview if you are aspiring for that. But there are a lot of companies which I can tell, I can't name the companies, but there are many tier two kind of a companies which don't have the machine coding round as separate. So it depends on your preparations, Anubhav. If you're preparing for the tier one or first few companies in tier two, then obviously you need to prepare for machine coding. If not, then probably it is not necessary. Yeah. Any other
And one more question,
please?
yeah, related to data structure and algorithms.
Mm,
So, like in general, like if you're a backend developer, so we cover like TP and all those
correct.
hard topics as well.
Correct.
But as a front end or like because even if we are working on Node.js, we are more commonly referred as front end only still.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
what all topics we need to like lay emphasis on if we have like 1 or 2 weeks time to prepare for it?
So my advice is this, Anubhav. Let's say you're preparing for companies like Apple, Google, Facebook, or Meta, what we call. If you're preparing for these companies, then sky is the limit. Whether you're front-end developer or
Yeah.
back-end developer, they hire the generalists, not specialists. Correct? So all the topics you need to cover. But in case if you're preparing, this includes Amazon as well. Okay, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, all these companies, you have to prepare almost all the data structures. But if you're preparing for some other companies with my experience like Microsoft, SAP, and these kind of companies, then probably you can limit yourself to strings, arrays, linked list, and binary search trees. There is very few occasions where these companies ask graphs or dynamic programming, greedy approach, backtracking, all these questions to a front-end developer. Okay, so where they will have a machine coding round to test your skills, right? So they will not spend lot on the data science algorithm. But obviously, my fund is simple. If you are appearing for a not at all premium companies, then limit yourself to strings and arrays. If you are applying for a semi premium, then go till the linked list. If you are applying for premium, excluding the mang, okay, excluding the mang, there are a lot of premium companies, then go till linked list and the binary search trees also. In fact, I have already made tutorials. All the link list I have covered. If you wish, you can watch that. I'll try to link that on screen for the audience. Yeah. Any other questions, Anwar? Regarding the interview, you have any other questions or overall also?
No,
Like,
that's all. Yeah,
okay,
that's all from my side.
sure, Anubhav. So it was a nice interview from my side. Whatever I felt, I'll tell. Okay. So with whatever the answer that you are giving, fundamentally you are strong. Like conceptually, you are able to explain very good. Technical communication skills are good. So there is two things: communication and technical communication. There are many. Whenever I ask what is hosting, they start writing the code, or whenever I ask closure, they start writing the code. So code writing is one part of the developer job. Correct? You should know how to articulate whatever you know. So in that way, you are able to technically communicate what you know. That is good. Okay, and React concepts also fundamentally are good. Many still don't know what is reconciliation itself. Reconciliation, you hire to component, you are able to answer well. So conceptual knowledge, I'll give full marks. Whatever things that you can improvise that I notice is whenever I in the beginning also I mentioned there is a breadth in the depth concept in the interview where you touch base on a lot of topics and we get into depth wherever we feel it is essential. Okay, so in that depths I feel you need to work a little more. For example, the interpretation question that I asked. So you may have to dig little deeper to understand what is the interpretation, etc. Correct? Or example, the set timeout one or the hosting question which I asked, snippet driven. Snippet drivens are very, very common in the interview. Okay. Why? Because all the snippet driven question will have one tricky part. Obviously one tricky part will be there. You need to be able to unlock it. So that is the important part of the snippet driven questions. So but if you fundamentally become strong, let's say you already know what are closures, but if you spend more time and understand in depth of closure, you'll be able to easily answer the for loop and that set time out what I asked. Correct, your answer was
Right.
right, but I'm telling in depth. So why in depth is
Got
necessary? Whenever you're applying for the tier one companies, so they always look for the
it.
in depth question, in depth concepts. Correct, because obviously they'll have problems inside which somebody who has in-depth knowledge only can solve. Mediocre cannot solve. Okay, that's the only feedback that I'll give. Like I mentioned, I'll send one detailed email to you as well, to which consolidates
Sure.
all whatever everything that I explained. Okay, now that's all from my end, Anubhav. It was nice talking to you. Okay, any questions you have, Anubhav?
I would say like it was a good experience. I
Thanks.
think
Yeah.
it will surely help me as well in my
Yes,
future
exactly.
endeavors.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thanks for
Hope you're watching Uncommon Geeks, Anubhav, my videos and other things.
yeah, yeah. Surely I am doing that on daily basis.
Oh, okay. Great, Anubhav. Obviously, like I always mention, if you watch, I have 60 plus videos. Obviously, if you're preparing right now, you cannot watch all the videos. But even if you watch my summary videos where I've explained React.js, complete React.js interview preparation, JavaScript complete interview preparation, couple of those videos, if you fully watch, lot of concepts will be clear to you. So they are around 30 to 35 minutes videos, 30, 35, and 40 minutes videos. So two videos if you watch, it is hardly 1 hour. If you spend 1 hour and watch those two videos, your fundamental becomes much stronger. Okay, I would advise watching that. Hmm.
Sure.
Okay, that's all, Anubhav. Very nice talking to you. Have a good day then. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the mock interview with Anubhav. So it was nice interview. He was able to articulate a lot of thoughts, and wherever the small correction that he can do, I have already communicated that to him in the interview. And certain things that I think personally I can convey, I'll be sharing it over the email. In case if you are someone who also want a free mock interview, please register in the Google form that is present in the description section. It's not like obviously it's not like I'll be able to take interview for all, but definitely I'll keep your contact. I only ask very basic details to contact you. If not now or in future, whenever I want to do mock interviews or whenever I want someone to partner with me in the interview process, definitely I'll consider your profile. Okay, thank you so much for watching. In case if you not like the video, please like the video, comment whatever you felt about the mock interview process, and please subscribe to Uncommon Geeks. This will help me a lot into spreading this sort of helping people to clear the interview. And please share the information with your friends. And whatever the question that are asked in the interview are present in my GitHub repository. I'm linking the GitHub repository in the comment section. You can always go and check that out and practice on your own. Some questions are very tricky, so please find the answer for yourself. If you're still not able to find, please mention that in comment section. I'll try to explain why it is so. Okay, and please follow me on Medium. I write a lot of Medium articles. I got decent followers on Medium also recently. Okay, please follow me on Medium too, and star my GitHub projects. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in next video.